Have you ever wondered what really happens after death? There are many different theories on this topic, but most people believe that after death, our soul leaves the body and goes to another world, a world that no human can see. But if there was someone who could awaken in that world, then the story is about Nayanthara, who lived in Kolkata. Nayanthara was just 6 years old at the time. It was the day of Bhoot Chaturdashi, and so Nayanthara had come to visit the temple of Lord Bhootnath with her family. As soon as Nayanthara entered the temple, she got so lost that she didn't even realize when her family left the temple. The temple priest had to leave suddenly for some urgent work, and since he didn't know that Nayanthara was inside, he locked the temple from the outside. In no time, the sun set and it was night. Nayanthara was completely alone inside that temple. Suddenly, people started coming in through the closed temple doors. In no time, a crowd began to gather inside. All the people looked very strange. They were not ordinary people. It seemed like they were the souls of dead people. Terrified, Nayanthara hid in the corner of the temple and watched them from there. Then she saw that all those people were worshipping Lord Bhootnath one by one while crying. It is believed on the night of Bhoot Chaturdashi, a grand ritual is held at the temple for Bhootnath, which the spirits themselves come to perform. These spirits often come there in the hope of liberation. Nayanthara had heard about this story, but today she was witnessing this truth with her own eyes. Just then, one of the spirits noticed Nayanthara and began to look at her angrily. The spirit's face seemed very terrifying to Nayanthara, but when she asked about its suffering, it calmed down. Gradually, Nayanthara spoke to each of the 11 spirits present there, and she felt that this was the purpose of her life. She considered seeing and talking to spirits as a blessing from Lord Bhootnath. As she grew older, she used this ability to help the souls of the deceased find liberation. But these powers distanced her from society. No one was willing to accept Nayanthara. In fact, even her own family had thrown her out of the house, and she began living in a Har Gauri temple. One day, Lalita Sen Gupta came to the same Har Gauri temple with her son Surjo Sen Gupta. As soon as Nayanthara saw Surjo, she felt something, as if Surjo needed help in his life. Surjo Sen Gupta lived with his family in Kolkata's Pari Mahal, which was their ancestral mansion. The Sen Gupta family was highly respected in society, and along with this respect, they also had a great deal of wealth. But many secrets were hidden in their ancestral mansion, Pari Mahal. One night, Surjo was having trouble sleeping. He had been tossing and turning for hours. He had a dream that a woman in a red wedding sari was sitting on top of him and strangling him. But as soon as he opened his eyes in panic, there was no one there. Just then, Surjo saw something that made his heart skip a beat. At the bedroom door, he saw a woman in a wedding sari standing. She started to leave the bedroom. Without thinking, Surjo followed the woman. When he stepped out of the room, there was no one there. Then his eyes fell on a large mirror on the palace wall. In it, he saw girls in bridal clothes standing everywhere. It seemed as if they were all standing corpses, but this was only visible in the mirror. In reality, there was no one there. Just then, he heard the sound of a woman crying from the stairs above. He went to the stairs and saw the same woman in the red sari sitting with her head down, crying. As he got closer, he saw the girl's feet. They were adorned with henna, as if she were a bride. Before Surjo could ask her anything, her feet turned upside down before his eyes. And then the girl glared at Surjo. Surjo was stunned to see her face because it was none other than his deceased fiancée, Shaylee. Seeing this, Surjo woke up from his sleep. It was all a dream. I was having a very bad dream. Since that day, Surjo started having such bad dreams. So to get Surjo blessed by every Gauri, Surjo's mother, Lalita, took him to a nearby Gauri temple, and it was in that temple that they met Noyantara. Lalita immediately understood upon seeing Noyantara that this girl could change Surjo's life, so she decided to get Noyantara and Surjo married. After the wedding, Surjo brought Noyantara to Fairy Palace, but Noyantara had no idea how many shadows and secrets were waiting for her in Fairy Palace. But in Fairy Palace, even those shadows didn't know that Noyantara was no ordinary girl. Noyantara was very happy to marry Surjo, but Surjo didn't feel the same. On the first night of the wedding, Surjo told Noyantara that he only married her because his mother, Lalita, asked him to. Hearing this, Noyantara felt very bad, but she knew that with time, she would win Surjo's heart. That night, Noyantara went to the kitchen to drink water. As soon as she returned to the room, Noyantara's heart skipped a beat. Right above Surjo's bed, a girl was floating in the air. She was wearing a wedding dress and her eyes were red with anger. As soon as Noyantara saw her, she said, "Who are you? Stay away from my husband." The girl immediately turned towards Noyantara and said, "You can see me? Who are you?" And then Noyantara told her about the blessing she received from Lord Bhutnath. Hearing Noyantara's truth, the girl's red eyes calmed down and she started crying before Noyantara could. Nayantara was about to say something more when Suraj's voice came from behind asking who she was talking to. The spirit immediately disappeared and Nayantara quietly tried to go to sleep. She couldn't calm her mind. She couldn't understand who that woman was and why she started crying after hearing Nayantara's words. In this confusion, Nayantara got up from the bed and went to search for that woman in the fairy palace. In the darkness of the night, the fairy palace looked very frightening. There was a strange suffocation in the air of that palace. Nayantara started looking for her everywhere. Just then, a voice came from a closed room. When Nayantara entered that room, her soul shivered. Many girls were standing in wedding dresses in that room, and as soon as they saw Nayantara, they started making owl sounds. Their voices were so loud that Nayantara got scared and she saw that the same woman who appeared in the room was among them. Nayantara asked her, "Who are you?" The answer that woman gave was something Nayantara had never imagined, even in her dreams. She said that before dying, she was about to marry Suraj, but before the wedding, Suraj killed her. She said she would only find peace when she avenges her death by killing Suraj, and Nayantara would have to help her. She also mentioned that many secrets are hidden in the fairy palace. That things are not as they seem. So what should Nayantara do? So will she? Will she free herself or protect her marriage?
What is the secret of the fairy palace, and did Suraj really kill his future wife?